Telluride, Colorado. It's very beautiful up here. I was asked by the local Rotary Club to come and share stories. We're meeting at the new Sheraton Hotel, built in 1895. It's beautiful and historic, and the meeting room is gorgeous. I arrived early and watched the club get set up. I was thrilled to have my wife Julie join me for this presentation. We made the trip to Telluride a special getaway this summer. What I'm going to show you is that storytelling really pulls out the value of your information. I was at another meeting more recently where a man came from Portland to share some information in a room that was very echoey, and they had a microphone for him. And so they handed him the microphone, and he had been picked specifically to share some important information, and he held the microphone down here at his waist level. And he got in a minute or two, somebody had to get up and go up there, excuse me, stop, time out, you really need to hold the microphone up here. And he said, I don't like microphones. And I thought, okay, that's fine if you don't like microphones, but it's not a scary thing, it's just a tool, like a hammer or a screwdriver, it's just a tool. And I thought, why, if you don't like microphones, have you been picked to share this information to a large group? And this is just a family example. Have you ever noticed in your neighborhood there are people that you refer to, not by their name, but by a moniker that has been given them by something that identifies them? In our neighborhood we have Mr. Too Fast because he drives through the neighborhood too quickly. We have the blue Chevy guy, we have the Rosebush lady, and these are terms that we put on these people that maybe because we don't know their name. Maybe it's because we haven't made the effort to reach out in the community and introduce ourselves and meet people. So we have these names that we give people. In our neighborhood, we had a man who was a character, and we called him the man who walks his dog. He had this little gray dog that he walked, and he would meander through our neighborhood, and if you were out, he would stop and say something to you, and it was so memorable what he would say that we would gossip and share little encounters we'd had with him. And my neighbor would say to me, the man who walks his dog stopped by today. You never guess what he said to me. He said, I don't buy green bananas. I won't do it. Everybody says buy them and leave them, they'll turn yellow, but I won't do it. I won't buy green bananas. You know, how do you respond to that? Okay. That was an example. And one time he stopped and he said to me, I only iron one thing at a time. I iron what I'm going to wear for the day, and that's all I iron. I don't have time to stand there at the ironing board and iron a bunch of clothes, so I just iron one thing at a time. Again, okay, well, how do you respond to that? So these were the anecdotes we shared about the man who walks his dog. He's kind of a gruff character, not unfriendly, because he did stop and talk, but he didn't seem to want to get to know us, and we probably justified our gossip about him because he just didn't seem like somebody we could introduce ourselves to. So, one Christmas time, my daughters, who love to spend time in the kitchen with their mom baking, came up with an idea to bake cookies for all the neighbors. And I didn't think they'd do it. I didn't think they'd go through with it, but they did. Every evening, they were in the kitchen making cookies and putting together a plate and getting their coats and dashing off to pass out these cookies. And one night after their cookie delivery time, they came running into the house like they'd seen a ghost. And they said, we took cookies to the man who walks his dog. And I thought, oh no! And I thought, what happened? And so I asked them, tell me what happened, step by step, tell me everything. And they said, well, we went up to his house and we knocked on the door. I said, did he answer? They said, no. A lady came to the door. And I said, what did you say to the lady? And they said, we said, does the man who walked his dog live here? And I thought, oh. And I said, what did she say? And they said, well, she kind of touched her chin and she smiled and she closed her eyes and she said, yes, the man who walks his dog lives here. And I said, well, then what happened? She said, we told her we had cookies, and she invited us in. I said, did you go in? He said, yes. We went in, and I said, was he there? And she said, yes, he was there, and his little dog too. And he told me the dog's name was Riley. And I said, what happened? And they said, well, he said, there better not be raisins in those cookies, because I don't eat cookies with raisins. And I said, and? They said, well, there were chocolate chips in them. And so we gave the plate to the lady, and she thanked us, and we left. And I said, that's it? He said, that's it. That's all that happened. I said, oh, boy. Well, I mostly forgot about that incident until a couple of days before Christmas, and this kind of chokes me up. We found an envelope on our door with just a little discount coupon in it for a local fast food restaurant, and a little thank you card saying, thank you for remembering us and thinking of us in the community. We feel so lonesome sometimes. Your cookies meant so much. From Bob and Claire Williams. And then in parentheses under that, the man who walks his dog. And then in parentheses under that, and Riley too. And I was very touched. I thought, there's a lesson for us all. Bob and Claire Williams. So a couple of weeks went by, and I forgot the whole incident. And I came home from work one day, and my wife and my daughters were tearful. They were wringing their wrists. They were crying. I said, what's the matter? And they said, Riley passed away. And I said, Riley passed away? It meant nothing to me. And I said, what? Who is Riley? And my wife said, Bob and Claire Williams' dog. And again, I drew a blank, and I thought, I said, well, I'm sorry, what? And my wife looked at me with such a disapproving look. And she said, the man who walks his dog. And I felt humbled. I really did. I felt bad. It's a habit we get into of disregarding people or pigeonholing them. And I decided I would get redemption. I decided I would be an example. So as springtime came around, I was outside working in my yard, and my neighbor Alan came over, and he had seen the man who walks his dog. He says, guess who's out for the season? The man who walks his dog. He stopped by there, and I said, who? The man who walks his dog. And I said, what are you talking about? The guy, the old guy with the wears the jumper that has the little gray dog he walks. And I said, Bob Williams? No. He says, I guess. I said, Bob Williams? What about Bob Williams? They have the little dog? And I thought he passed away, and that took all the wind out of the sails of my neighbors. Well, no, I was just commenting that he stopped by, and he didn't share an anecdote. And I felt, okay, I'm setting an example. Well, it wasn't more than a few days later, I was standing out, cleaning out some gutters in front of my house, and I hear a voice behind me saying, crabgrass, that's your problem. Crabgrass. And I turned around, and it was Bob Williams. I said, hey, Bob. And he said, Bob? And I said, yeah, that's your name, isn't it? Bob Williams, your wife Claire, you live up there? He said, looks like, who's this? I pointed to the dog, and he says, this is Riley. And I said, I thought, he says, it's not that Riley, this is the new Riley. Okay. And then he scolded me. He says, you know, crabgrass is a problem, and you've got a corner lot here, and it's important for you to keep your yard up. You kind of set the first impression of the whole neighborhood. And I said, I know, and I'm working on it. I promise you I'm getting busy. I'm trying to take care of this. He said, okay. And I said, well, Bob, have a good walk. Stop by any time. He says, all right, see you later, crabgrass. After my presentation, we visited the town of Telluride a little bit. There's so much beauty, there's so many things to see, wonderful shopping, wonderful food, and probably best of all, there's a free gondola system that takes you right from downtown, up over the mountain, into the ski resort area, over the top of the mountain, and down into Mountain Village, a little ski resort village, where there was a farmer's market going on, which we enjoyed, lunch, shopping. It was a wonderful day. We loved Telluride.
So this is pretty much the same as the one in Park City, what do you say?
Very similar.
Gondola is owned and operated by Mountain Village owners and taxpayers. The gondola officially operated December 20th of 1996.